Peace to my beautiful black family. And yes, I know I haven't posted on YouTube for maybe like 2 weeks or so. And the reason why, I have been working on a lot of personal projects, including a book. So you already know, when you're working on multiple things, certain things have to take a back seat. However, I am back, I'm posting, and I'm going to try to stay consistent, because dropping information, much needed information for my people, is very important. But I had to take a hiatus and, just focus on certain things that I wanted to accomplish. So yes, I'm back. I am back. Black Revolutionary is back. You know what I mean? I never went nowhere, but I just kind of stay away from YouTube for like 2 weeks or so. So check out this video coming up, and much more videos and information and black power information is on the way. Peace. Them two Negroes went on the enemy platform to support this enemy platform, and all these FBAs is quiet. None of them ain't saying nothing. What about when you guys talk about standing on business? This is standing on business, y'all. You gotta call out your own people when they're off code. They always talking about black people being off code. And two of the biggest voices who say they're protecting black culture, these people are quiet. All the FBAs is quiet. This is crazy. This is crazy. And Vugu Nayosi, Black Revolutionary now. Just wanted to speak on a video I made, I think was last week or something like that, and calling out FBA leader, cult leader, Tariq Nasheed, and this sellout Negro washed up rapper Lord Jamal going on Vlad. Vlad, for anybody who don't know, he's a Jew. He supports his people. He basically say some stuff about Afrikan, and he refused to apologize, and he doubled down and came back 5 years later and give some sorry ass apology, and all of a sudden these two Negroes went back on his platform. I think Tariq Nasheed went back before he apologized, but Lord Jamal, that Negro, that washed up rapper, he went back because he talked about something about when he lost his dog, and something to do with Vlad, or some kind of sorry ass excuse. But the point of this video is me calling out these two Negroes selling out off code, because FBAs love to use that favorite word, talking about the Negroes as being off code, whatever. And these are the people, Tariq Nasheed and Lord Jamal, who talk about preserving black culture and in FBA first, and we got to stand on FBA business, whatever. So this is what it is. You have the leader of FBA going on an anti-black racist platform, Vlad. So this is what FBA means when they say they're standing on business, huh? But me making that video, you had a lot of people who follow this FBA movement send me a whole set of hate messages, and it's crazy because these are the people who talk about they are so great, and they stand up firm, and they basically just cry themselves as they're so superior to other black people. These are black people speaking like this. And let me get this out of the way. When I'm talking about FBA, I'm not talking about black Americans who have a history of their families in slavery. I'm not talking about those kind of black people. I'm specifically talking about these people who follow this FBA movement. And you have a lot of black Americans who ancestors goes back to the killing fields of the South. Yes, some of these people don't align themselves with FBAs. So when I'm talking about FBAs, I'm specifically talking about Tariq and his minions who spread hate and xenophobia message all day. As soon as you disagree with them on any little thing, oh, you are tether, you are this, you are immigrant. And most of these people, just based on the comments, they don't do history, they don't study history, they don't read, they don't research. And how I know? Because they regurgitate every single word their leader Tariq Nasheed say. Every single thing. Here's a few messages these hateful FBAs, not black Americans, who ancestors goes back to the killing fields, the plantations of America. No, I am talking about specifically these FBAs who follow this cult xenophobia movement run by a former pimp. Yes, a former pimp, a drifter, a charlatan. Their daddy, leader, Tariq Nasheed. Check out a few messages these FBAs send me in my comment section. You need to worry about your health and get a skin care regimen before calling anyone out about anything. Ew. You sound just like a Cohen-Tell tether. Can you just shut your musty tether ass up? You ain't FBA, so go fix your tribalism and stay out of FBA business. Check out this other one. Correction. You are a smelly tether troll that is not qualified for reparations. And now you're crashing out on FBA and trying to bait us into back and forth with you just so you can make some cash off of your YouTube videos. LOL, I am right so far. And these are some of the messages, and they talk about my locks and all kind of stuff, and I'm like, man. So for me, calling out an obvious move by their leader, going on a platform that practice anti-black racism, just because I call them out. I am this and that, and I'm a tether. Go back. I see some messages. Go back to Africa, or they ask me, where I'm from, just because I call out some off-code behavior. They always talk about off-code behavior, but just because I call out their leader, see how they get in their feelings. They start crashing out, and they're angry because of what? Because I call out their pimp leader, Tariq Nasheed. And check this out, fam. It's very interesting. Not one message in my comment section they was talking about, yeah, you're right, and blah, blah, blah. Everyone avoid every single thing I said, calling out their leader. But they attack me. They get personal with me. They attack my my skin, my locks, my this kind of stuff. And I'm like, yo, I'm just laughing, because I was built for this. Stuff doesn't bother me. We all know, and they all know, their leader is a former pimp, a drifter, a hustler, and a sellout, and they regurgitate every word. And when we look at all the big FBA platforms, none of them say a word. Shows you how hypocritical these people are. Show you how this movement is not only dangerous towards black people, but it practices hate, xenophobic hate against black people. And these are the black people who claim to be so smart or whatever, and all of a sudden they ain't come from Africa. When you look at the FBA website, they're specifically talking about allegedly was kidnapped from Africa or whatever. And listen, fam, their leader about 4 or 5 years ago was talking about Africa, and we come from Africa. His videos talking about the contribution of African people. But these newcomers, this new movement, this new FBA movement, these people have a short-term memory. They don't even go and research their own leader videos and listen to the stuff that he was saying 4 or 5 years ago. He totally did a 180. And all of a sudden, they were always here. They were always in America. They have nothing to do with Africa. These are people who look, when you look at the phenotype, they're Africans. They do their DNA, I'm sure 100%, will come back where they are West African, in one of those West African countries, but they form around this movement is crazy. And listen, I totally understand. I'm with reparations for my black people anywhere on the globe, because we know we all been mistreated by this wicked white man. So, but when we need to call out a leader of a group that is off code, that have nothing to do with whatever that movement is trying to do, absolutely nothing. But these people put everything inside a pot, and just because you disagree with one thing they say, like all of a sudden, oh yeah, you against them, whatever. It's crazy. And that's brainwash. These people are brainwashed, because when I listen to Tariq, I listen to what he said, every single talking point and every single thing, all his followers, they say the exact same thing. They don't even think for themselves. Is really amazing just to see a group of people act like this, don't have no sense of history, and just follow just one man and his xenophobic behavior towards people who came from the same place they came from. It's crazy. So I guess black or African black people, you know what I mean, when you look at the mid 1800s, right, before 1865, you trying to tell me there is no African people that is coming into America? When you look at the early 1800s and the late 1700s and the mid 1700s and the 1600s, these are all African people being imported into the country. So when does the FBA actually start? Oh yeah, they have no relationship, no set of blood, no set of relation, no great grandfather or great grandmother who is from Africa. This is how delusional these people are. This is sickening. Just because they hate all other black people, they only just want to mess with the black people who was born in America, who have a bloodline or lineage, in America. But I guess the lineage of the so-called FBA, I guess it's all determined on what their leaders say it is, right? This is what we're doing, right? So if they say it started in the early 1900s or 20th century, I guess that's what it is. If it start at a certain date, they say, in the 1800s or the 1700s, wherever, they're just making this shit up as they go. And it shows how this FBA leader will try to say anything just so they could separate themselves from any and everybody who is black just like them or who wasn't born in America. So just wanted just to drop that video and just to show you how these FBAs, how they actually act on certain channels and stuff like that. And of course, I follow like a lot of Pan-Africans who have great channels, and they always have their FBAs coming in and saying the exact same thing, dropping all kind of hate messages and xenophobic messages just because we disagree with them, just because we disagree with what one of the leaders say, or maybe how they are acting, right? You know, and all of a sudden, hey, you know, it's hate coming from them. It's crazy. So yes, we have the FBAs who's crashing out, and once again, this have nothing to do with African black people who ancestors goes back to the killing fields and plantation of America. This have nothing, absolutely nothing, because a lot of them don't agree with this FBA nonsense, because the proof, what we could see and how these people behave and the hateful thing they say, we see and know that a lot of black people in America will never go along with this nonsense. Peace and black power, black revolutionary now.